So Elephant Larry had this elaborately conceived character called Chris Principe that they had used in Tridad and Smart Girl, for example. But they never felt they got it right. So they came to us.
This Chris Principe wasn't just a background character or a funny alien. He was a real character with lines and the ability to emote. We couldn't just have something that came from the toy store. The audience couldn't believe for 1 second that this was actually a computer-generated character.
When we wrote Chris Principe, we thought it was just a funny idea. But if we would have known it would have taken 9 months of additional research and development to get Chris just right, I don't know if we would have done it the same way. But I gotta say, I'm glad we did.
It was worth it.
So we explored all the traditional solutions, stop motion animation, claymation, puppetmation, you name it, we tried it. But Chris Principe demanded a higher level of realism, a spark, so to speak.
Elephant Larry really knew what they were doing when they wrote the character of Chris Principe. They knew exactly what they wanted. Not too tall, compact. They wanted the skin slightly translucent, sort of like an outlandish cross between Michael J. Fox and a baby gazelle. Now, it's very easy to say something like that, but it's something totally different when you have to bring life to that and give birth to a living, breathing character.
So we had 4 teams of artists in different parts of the country to flesh out Chris Principe, and between them they made over 900 different drawings and over 125 different conceptual sculptures to help create the final product. And it's interesting, you can really see the progress as they move from the initial ideas that Elephant Larry presented to that lovable scamp that makes us all laugh and not that Batman, plague retardant, and hey, pass that cream cheese.
In the end, we decided to do a mix of traditional computer animation and motion capture to realize Chris Principe on the stage. So we auditioned a bunch of actors and ended up going with this guy Richard Bloom, who we worked with on a couple of Madame Funny Pants shows.
Richard Bloom works by experimentation. He'll tell you that himself.
I work by experimentation. So when I read the script, I knew who Chris Principe was, but to get his inner essence, his Principe-ness, I had to do some digging. I had to look inside myself. It took some work.
It's a wonder watching Richard work, because in the beginning you think he's never going to get it. And then all of a sudden there's that moment when you're like, I'm on stage with Chris Principe, and those are the moments you live for.
Totally.
I had to find my inner fool, my inner jester, my inner jackanape, if you will. And I think I found it.
But get this, they actually erased him out of every single frame. So everything you're seeing on stage is Richard Bloom, but they just painted in Chris Principe.
Yeah. You saw the scene where he grabs my hat and he beats me with my hat. You believe that Chris is there. You believe that Chris Principe is in that scene. But he's not. But that's the magic. The M to the A to the G-I-C.
What does that spell?
Magic. In the end, it's not the hours spent designing or the nights spent agonizing over what Chris is going to look like. It's the people out in the audience, laughing at your work. That's the best feeling in the world.
And that's how you know it's all worth it. The pain, the work.
For 2 years, we lived and breathed nothing but Chris Principe, but really, I think the work there is all on display. You can see the love that went into Chris.
It's been a real honor working with Chris. You might even say I'm in love with Chris Principe.
You know, it's a little corny to say, but all of us in Elephant Larry have come to think of Chris as one of the gang, a real person.
Almost like he's part of the group.
Hey, who's that?
Oh, it's Chris.
Hi,
Chris.
Chris.
How are you?
What's going on?
What's happening?
Anything you'd like to say to the viewing audience?
I'm not really alive.